Hey y'all, Vern Clausen, Canyon City, Colorado. Lovely Royal Gorge area. Uh, Calling myself the Royal Gorge Reloader, and we're just going to talk about getting set up. What's it take to get started in this? Getting started doing your own reloads. I have always played around with the idea of doing reloading for myself. I had a friend's grandfather that did reloading, and I always thought it was neat to sit and watch him and talk to him. And if I'd have paid more attention, I'd have learned more. But I just I got into it on the cheap because I decided I was gonna, instead of paying $65-$70 a box for my 4570, I decided I was gonna reload it myself. And so I looked it up and I researched it a little bit and everything, and I found a kit that is really super simple to do reloading 4570. It's called the Lee Loader Kit, and it's in 4570. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but right there, 4570. Anyway, it's simple. I mean, there's no gimmicks whatsoever. It comes with your instructions. It has a little instruction book here, and inside it tells you, all your general information that you need to have, and then the pamphlet that comes with it has some loads and some load data. Okay, and it's going to tell you that you need large rifle primers. It's going to tell you your case length that you're going to want, your trim length. That's what you're going to want right there. That's your maximum trim length, and there's a minimum trim length, which is usually about 5/1000ths under that trim length, your case length. And then it's so simple. You have different parts in this kit, and I'll get them out and show them to you. That way I can talk about them. First off, you have your little base. It's got a hole in it, a bigger hole on this side. You put your shell inside there, and you can knock your primer out through that hole, and that primer hole is what's going to give you enough clearance to get your shell, your primer out. You've got your primer punch, which you put down inside the case, and then you knock your primer out. You have your sizing tool, which has a beveled edge for you can use it as a powder funnel. I don't. You have the flat edge, which you take your shell, your casing, and you put it in here, and then it's going to stick up out of the top of it, and you're going to take a hammer and you're going to knock it in there until it's flush, and then you're going to turn it upside down and put it back on your base that I showed you before, and you're going to knock that shell loose. Okay? Once that shell's loose, no, don't knock it all the way out. Just knock it, till it is freed up a little bit. And then you're going to take your primer seating adapter, and you put your primer in there, right there. And then you put that shell and that case sizer down on top of there, and then you take your primer seating rod, which is the longer one, and you put it in here, and then that's inside your case, and then you knock the case down onto the primer. It just takes a few taps, just a few taps. I mean, if you tap it too much or if you hit it too hard, there's a chance you're going to set that primer off, and it's not going to hurt you. It's going to scare you, and it's going to go pop, and you know, and I mean, eventually you're going to run into a soft primer, or you're going to tap it too hard, or you're going to think, hey, if I just whack it one good time, you know, and you're going to get one pop. It happens. It's happened to me more than once. And then you have a belling adapter. You put that inside your case, and you have your case sitting in here, and the hole in the bottom is going to keep your primer protected. You take that belling tool, and you put it inside the top of your case, and you tap it a couple of times, and it's got a little bevel on the top of it. You can see where it changes colors right there. I don't know if you can see that real good. There you go. Anyway, when it seats that, then you take this out of the case. You add your powder, which for 4570 I started with 3031, and I started with Remington large rifle primer, 9.5 large rifle primer. And then you have your projectile, and the projectile for it is going to tell you on your information sheet right here that you need a 4.58 projectile. The weight on that is going to, you're going to look up your recipe, and you're going to find your recipe that you want by the weight of the bullet. So let's say we're going with a 400 or a 300 grain. We'll go with 300 grain right down here on this line here. A 300 grain projectile, and then it's going to knock it down to the different powders that you can use for it. And if I'm correct, 3031 is down here on the bottom, right in here, and it will tell you how much grain weight on the powder that you need. And that brings up another part of this. Doggone it, I'm fighting with all my stuff here, trying to get things put away as I go. Well, I don't have a mess, which I usually do. So anyway, you're going to put all that back in the box here, and I always try to keep things together so that I know exactly where everything is the next time I want it. One thing I didn't mention is you're going to need case lube when you knock that shell into that resizing die. You can get Hornady One Shot. This is about $18 a can, and it lasts a long time. Or you can mix your own. It's not. It goes 2 parts alcohol to 1 part lanolin oil. The 100% lanolin oil, you'll probably have to order it because I couldn't find it in any stores around here. Ordered it, I think it was $6 for that lanolin bottle. Yeah, liquid lanolin right there. And then you're going to use 99% isopropyl alcohol. If you can't find the 99% isopropyl alcohol, go to your local parts store and get a bottle of heat fuel additive. That fuel additive is 99% isopropyl alcohol and 1% water. And all you need the alcohol for is to carry your oil onto your cases. And then you're going to let that dry 5-10 minutes or whatever it is. And the alcohol will evaporate, your oil will stick to the cases, and then you're good to go. And you can make a whole bottle of that for less than you can buy a half a can of that one shot. One shot's good stuff. I'm not trying to knock it. It's good stuff, and it can be expensive, or on the more expensive side. Let's see here. You're going to need a scale, and you're going to need a couple other little tools here. This is a primer pocket cleaner. It has a large side, it has a small side. So you're going to take this after you knock your primer out. You're going to clean your primer pocket, and then you're going to use, after you've sized it, you're going to use this tool. It's a chamfer and deburr tool. You can buy all these things on eBay really cheap, or you can go to your local dealer, and you can go to Shields and Sportsman's Warehouse and Cabela's, or whatever little mom and pop place you've got around there, and they probably have one or can get you one. But you're going to take the burrs off the edges of your brass. And then you're going to weigh out your powder. You can get these. I got this one. I think I got it on eBay or on Amazon, and it was like $19. And it comes with your little tray, and you just put it on there and you hit on, and it's going to calibrate itself to zeros. And then you put the tray on there, and it's going to tell you how much the tray weighs, and then you're going to hit tare. And then you're going to let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes, because it's the scale has to warm up, and for whatever reason it needs to warm up a little bit, and it's going to give you a false reading 1 or 2 times. You just keep picking up the tray, putting it back on, and tare it. Pick it back up, put it back on, see if it goes back to 0. If it doesn't, you're going to tare it again. Okay, you're going to want a nice solid surface. Don't put it on a soft surface. It'll give you a false reading. And then you're going to weigh out your powder to whatever your recipe says it is. Another thing you're going to need is you're going to need a set of calipers. This set of calipers I got at Harbor Freight. And I got them, I think I got this one for $24, and it's got a battery in it, and it's digital, and I like it better than the dial because my eyes are not that great, and I can read the digital. The dial, I have a hard time seeing it. So then you're going to measure your bullet and your projectile when it's all together, and the seating part of that 4570 deal that I showed you, the Lee loader, which is the simplest thing in the world, has a little deal here, and you spin this in and out and set your depth that you want. And I suggest that you take this wheel and you spin it all the way to the bottom or whatever, get it close, and then you're going to try your depth. You're going to put your bullet in the top of you're going to put this coned piece over your bullet, and then you're going to drop, or your case, I'm sorry, then you're going to drop your projectile in the top of it, and then you're going to use this. It's going to go in the top of your case. I'm having a brain fart here. Your case sizer, and it goes in here and it pushes on that bullet, and then it pushes it into your casing, and then you're going to measure it with your calipers, and you're going to go for whatever depth that your bullet says it needs to be. Now this one says your 300 grain bullet is going to be that maximum length there. what is it? 2.550. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. You want to set it, and and then once you have it set, you screw that little set ring down on that, and then you're good to go for setting the rest of your bullets. Once you've gotten into it and you decide, yeah, I like this, I want to do this, this is fun, you have to have your powders, you have to buy your primers. A good place to get those, Walmart is carrying powder and primer now. If you're in Colorado and you're in the Florence, Canyon City area, I suggest you go to Mantiques. They have a little bit of everything. They have, if they don't have it, they'll get it, or they can get it for you. And Rich, Linda, Eugene, Norm, Pam, they're all good people, and they're always willing to bend over backwards to help you. And then once you get into it and you really decide that you like it a lot, then you might want to get yourself a cheap press. I went with the Lee press. It's a single stage press, and I bought it in a package deal with a die set for 45 ACP, and I bought it for $130. And this die set comes in it with everything you need. It's got your depriming die. It's got your bullet seating die. This is the primer die. There's a little pin on it. It's got your bullet seating die. It's got your case holder. And I mean, it's got the same kind of instructions in here as your Lee loader does, but it's a little more in depth and has more recipes and exactly how to set up your dies. If you're having trouble setting up your die, look on YouTube. There's 1,000 videos out there of people setting up dies. But this is the breech lock set, and it's really simple. I love the breech lock set because instead of having to take your die all the way out, you undo this bottom ring right here, and it comes out, and then you just put this one in, and it clicks right into place, and you're done. This is a primer seater for this. You put it in there like that, and then when you pull up on it, it opens that up. You put your primer in there, bring it back down, it puts it right in the bottom of your shell for you. And you're going to do all the cleaning and the trimming and all of that, you know, that goes along with it. And if you're going to trim, you can get the little handheld trimmers, which is a good way to start out. And then once you get into it and you decide you're going to stick with it, I suggest the Lee quick trims, and they come in all the different calibers. I mean, every caliber you want, and it comes with the part that fits in your drill. And all you do is you put this down inside the case mouth, inside that quick trim die, and you put that in the top of your Lee. Run your bullet all the way, or your casing all the way up there, and then you put your quick trim in the top of it. A few little spins, and check your depth or your case length, and you may have to adjust your quick trim. But it comes with all the instructions, super simple, really easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Let's see here. Just a second here. You're going to need some loading books, and I suggest you get 2 or 3 different ones and play around with the recipes, look at the different stuff, see what powders you have available in your area, and the bullet weight that you're going to go with or whatever. I have the 2 different Lee books. I have the Hornady book. I have a Spear book. look them all. I mean, look at all of them. Spend a little time, do some research, and you'll come up with a recipe that you like. And I suggest you start at the bottom of the charge weight, and or go to the middle instead of 43 or 4 grains is the least amount of powder you can put in, and 7 grains is the most amount of powder you can put in. Go for 5.5. Hit it in the middle, and see what you like, or hit it at 4.5 or 5, and see how your bullets do. Um, see if they're accurate. Hold on a minute. Okay, so in conclusion, getting into it can be really, you can do it on the cheap, and you go to your local range and pick up brass, or you can use the brass that you've already fired. I suggest you keep your brass, especially when you get into rifle cases, because some of them are form fire, and that's a term you'll learn down the road. When you pull the trigger, that case does not fit your chamber exactly, but when you pull that trigger and it explodes and pushes that bullet out of the barrel, it's going to expand, and it's going to expand to the same size that your chamber is. So before I get off subject too far and everything else, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you have fun. Enjoy it. If you're looking for tips and tricks on how to reload, I suggest you look up Jiu-Jitsu reloader. Look up the Preacher reloader. You can look up Ron Spalmer. He's got so much knowledge. Such a smart man. You can look up some of my stuff at Vern Clausen 1971. And if I haven't covered it already, hit me in the suggestions and in the comments and tell me, hey, Vern, I'm trying to reload 30-06. What do you think? And I may already have a video out by then. I don't. I'm working on one, and if I can help, I will, and I'll give you suggestions and things. I do not suggest that you follow anybody's recipe on YouTube or anybody else that says, hey, you're on a chat or something and somebody says use 45 grains of this and this weight bullet and trim it to this and all that other. Get your books out. Look up the recipes. The people that wrote those books know what they're talking about, and that's the safest way to go. So anyway, conclusion. I hope you have fun. Hope you learned something. Be kind to one another. We'll see you later.